Hello, everybody. Chris Wood here. Welcome to my channel, anybody that might tune in. That picture that is on my thumbnail is my mother. She was killed for OPP, Lennox and Addington, Ontario Provincial Police, revenge retaliation from one harbored sex offender, child stalking, pedophile, dangerous, delusional, serial killer, alleged Hells Angels, Ontario chapter captain, and also a rat informant. One known as Bill Wooldridge, 149 Center Street North, Napanee, Ontario. Bald, glasses, goatee sometimes, approximately 70 to 73 years old. And by alleged bandito leader for Ontario leader, whatever, Blair Hardy. He is boyfriend to Ontario Provincial Police, Spencer Mills. Drug trafficking, rape, identity theft, forgeries, frauds, and guilty of lacing the drugs to commit murders and also other homicides with and for OPP, along with Tyler Teabag Lake, his girlfriend Holly Carlisle, Dale Hartwick, Michelle Irish, Jason Two-Step Gimpy Van Alstyne. These are all highly protected, drug-fed, money-paid pieces of shit who are using remote neuromonitoring on me, who is causing my identity theft, who is causing my deforming, who is causing my injuring. I am a 3.5-year revenge retaliation, identity theft, kidnap, sex assault, false arrest, medical blacklist, medical treatment refusal, skull split, skull deformed, brain injury, body mutilation, piss and urine stolen, false arrest to deflect crimes against me, and also to get my pictures, prints, signatures, and everything else needed for this identity theft in exchange for forgeries, framings, frauds against me, using harbored wanted inmates, using people that are waiting on trial, that are aiding OPP, and by doing so, they will get out of going to jail for crimes. Blair Hardy, Billy Wooldridge, Tyler Lake, Dale Hartwick, Jason Van Alstyne, they're all working with and for OPP, Ontario Provincial Police, human trafficking, human sex trade, slavery trafficking, children to pedophiles, adults to sex offenders, financial thefts and frauds, forgeries, framings, obviously identity thefts, putting prisoner tracking onto victims, using remote neuromonitoring on victims, and from the EMFs and radiation, and from all the people that is using it on me. This is what is causing my identity theft and my identity change. My split skull, my mother from the was having it used on her from Billy Wooldridge and Blair Hardy. Compliments of Spencer Mills and Stacy, a mental health worker, who told them that he and I were switched at birth. I am 50, he is in his 70s. no possible way, but he believes it because he is highly delusional and psychotic, perfect person to use in these kind of crimes. This way, he thinks he's getting identity theft, and OPP in the process are using him to commit homicide through him by doing so, along with Blair Hardy. They were using R&M on my mother, and I was speaking of this, and because of the EMFs and radiation, it caused tumors in my mother, and it caused cancer, and it killed her. And it was done with intent, just like Tyler Lake and Holly Carlisle are using R&M on my dog Runt between their pug dog and my lab, which in turn now has caused him cancer from the radiation and EMFs in my dog. They are guilty of killing my other dog, Chipper. They have caused my dog Runt, serious harm on not only the cancer, but they've caused him serious deforming. They are using this shit like a game, and they are passing it around, and people are being seriously injured and being killed from it, along with animals. I spoke of police crimes and other shit that's going on here in Napanee, the human homeless trafficking at the Morning Star mission, and the homeless exploitation for monetary gain. And as a result, I became a victim. Back in 2019, at my previous address, in August of 2019, I was at my previous address. It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, actually. And ex-OPP chief or commander went by. He waved at me. He was driving a white Jeep Wrangler. He waved at me. I waved back. When I waved back, I think that was a signal because a black truck pulled up beside him and they pointed something and they shot it. The person had black hair. I didn't see their face. They had black hair though. They pointed something, they shot it. It wasn't a bullet, but it was something, and it went into my right ear. I started having problems after that because it was starting to move through my head, causing me lots of burning and problems. I go to the hospital to find out what's going on. I finally get an appointment for a CAT scan, November of that year, 2019. And a woman from the mental health that I had previously seen to get help for someone else was actually at my CAT scan appointments talking to her girlfriend, Tatiana V, aka Margie V. I go to get my CAT scans done, and she walked right by us, me and my mother at the time, and another. I go to get my CAT scans done, and I was basically told I needed medication and da 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 da. Based on what? I asked for copies of my CAT scans. I was refused and told I would not understand them. And then the medical blacklisting and the lies, the cover ups, and everything else after that started. I went to Stacy previously to see her about a woman that was causing problems here in Napanee, making accusations, and to get her out of trouble because she is mentally disturbed. To get her out of trouble, I went there to get her help through them, and as a result, I walked in, and Stacy's first words out of her mouth was, "I know you." I still don't know what that meant because no, you fucking don't. And then she proceeded to make innuendos, and I got up and walked out on her. Next thing you know, Spencer Mills, the next day, where I'm sitting at my previous address, Deacon David Smith at the time, now priest or pastor, whatever, for St. Stephen's, he showed up, delivered me a meal from the Morning Star mission. Approximately 5 to 10 minutes later, Spencer Mills pulled into my driveway with a guy from the mental health, basically to let me know if I did not stop talking about what was taking place around Napanee and what was going on, there would be serious consequences, either criminally or legally or through mental health. That was a threat. And intimidation. And he was 100% right, because then Billy Waldridge came onto the scene after I was shot by ex-OPP chief as well. every time I would go out, he was always right there walking by my house, sometimes 10, 12 hours a day when he wasn't stalking children at lunchtime at Tim Hortons for XOPP chief or commander for their sex slavery, children trafficking. And he was also stalking my mother. He was calling my mother mom as well as him thinking that we were switched at birth, and he was calling my mother mom as well. And while he was using an R&M on her, he would go by the house. I would go out. Every time I would go out, he was always right there, constantly knew where I was 24/7, no matter what, because I have illegal prisoner tracking on me now from him. He is a Harvard wanted inmate who OPP will not arrest, and I have proven it many, many times just how protected he is. And he was always right there every step of the way. I would go to the hospital. I would get treated like a piece of shit, being called retarded, being belittled, going there with my head swelled up, told that I needed a head shrink, pun intended, being told that laughed in my face over being sodomized, going there for help because it was through the police and Billy Wooldridge, having Dr. Pritchard trying to have me committed because I went there for help as well, being treated like dirt, getting up and walked out and walking out, and then them trying to make it look like it was me refusing the treatment. And that's not the case. I'm not going to be treated like a piece of shit and then take it. They are guilty of criminally negligently being involved with this crime every step of the way against me, aiding in it, and this is why this happened to me. My identity theft, my skull deforming, my injuring, my torturing, and not being able to do anything. Falsely charging me with OPP, the hospital did, in an attempt to keep me away from the hospital, in an attempt to keep me away from help, and also in an attempt to give me a record on harassment because of me wanting police and doctors charged for the past 3 years, and this is their way to avoid it, using badges, positions, credentials, and then me not being able to get any legal help with all of this bullshit was going on, or medical help, being kept from the hospital for 10 months while it was happening. And meantime, my skull was being split and everything else, and I have video proof to show it. So I am an identity theft victim, and there is nothing that I can do about this. This is done. You're guilty of murdering my mother for revenge, retaliation. You're guilty of my identity theft. You're guilty of murdering the entire Wood bloodline, all for your fucking revenge. Conveniently, half of the police involved have now transferred to avoid arrest and lawsuits on themselves and also against OPP, and also to use their badge in hopes of deniability for the crimes that they're guilty of. I had no association with any of these cops or any cop in any way, shape, or form prior to this happening. No criminal record or history, no psychological record or history, no drug history. So, and if there has been anything against me, it's all been 100% fucking lying. So congratulations, you're getting away. You murdered my mother, Blair Hardy, Billy Wooldridge. You're getting away with doing this to me for fucking OPP revenge. Plus Tyler Lake and Jabin Alstein murdering my dog and also being involved with this, along with Dale Hartwick. My identity theft is fucking done after 3.5 years. Chris Wood is dead. You killed my mother and you killed the entire Wood bloodline. So congratulations, OPP, you dirty rotten fuckers, and your little inmate, drug-fed little pieces of shit who you harbor and will not touch, along with Lennox and Addington County General Hospital Administration, Wayne Cubby Duck, Sarah Fiddler. You're guilty of aiding in homicides for OPP and inmates, along with Paladin Security. Dr. Tatiana V, of course, Stacy's girlfriend, the medical blacklister, file falsifier, Dr. Joy Hadley, Dr. Barton, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. McGregor, Dr. Waldron, triage nurses Terry, Tanya, and David. You're all guilty of being involved in aiding and innocent co-committing criminally with negligent intent against me for revenge retaliation. Hell's Angels, Bandito cops and doctors and the fucking inmates, you're human traffickers, drug traffickers, financial thefts and frauds, false arrest, obviously identity thefts, homicides, attempted homicides, framings, forgeries, kidnappings, sex assaults. Good job. Be safe, everybody. Love all, hate none. Hit the like, share, subscribe, especially the share because this is very serious and important. My identity theft is done, and I have no feeling in my head from being injured so much and deformed. It's all gone. I only feel burning and electricity in a spot on the back of my head, and this right side of my head swelling up. And that's all I feel. Nothing else. And right now I'm being broadcasted through by a 30-year-old Tyler fucking Lake on this side because my skull's been split. Right here you can see it. And on this side it's Tyler Lake, and on this side it's Jason Van Alstyne. So, and from the EMFs and radiation, this is softening my skull. Plus, there's other shit inside me that's injuring me seriously, doing this to me. This is how OPP get revenge, and this is how you murder your victims. Look at this. I am 50 years old and I'm going through this by a 30-year-old and a fucking 40, 45-year-old, a 65-year-old, and a guy in his 70s. Like, what the fuck? Nice going, you pieces of shit garbage. Dale Hartwick as well, along with a bunch of other fucking goofs here, are conveniently all untouchable and unarrestable. You're guilty of murdering my mother and the Wood bloodline while completely and totally fucking me for this and getting fucking paid for it. Be safe, everybody. Love all, hate none. This is not my side view. This is not my image. Identity theft done, you fucking little bastard pieces of shit. OPP cocksucking fucking goose. You will answer for this and you will pay for it, you little bastards, whether you blow cops or not.